It's a great day to talk hockey with Grant McCagg on HabsCast.
Thank you, Dick. Oh boy, it's a great day to talk hockey. Lots of good stuff to talk about tonight. I think it's safe to say that the Canadiens have themselves a starting goaltender. And good news on the out-of-town scoreboard I'll get to shortly. Here's Rick. We'll get him on board here. Rick, good night. Nice to have the win over top team in the East, and then a lot of other teams that they're in the playoff race with. Didn't do too well tonight, so a rare night where everything kind of, Columbus lost or won. I guess that'd be the only blip on the radar, but good news all the way up and down. The Canadiens actually have a couple-point lead on the rest of the pack after the top three. So, hey, needed. You look at the last few games and they played. If you sum it up and say, okay, well, they played this team. Yeah, you'd think, okay, maybe lose to Carolina, but they beat Carolina. They beat Boston. They beat Ottawa. So it kind of evens out, and the Canadiens are in pretty good shape because a lot of these teams play each other right down the stretch. It's all divisional matchups now. If you're behind when you're in fourth place, and even if it's only a couple of friggin' points or 3 points or whatever, it's still tough for five teams or four teams to catch you. So good news. I think the Canadiens now, they're up to like 87, 88% chance of making the playoffs. It's looking pretty good after the way things went tonight.
Yeah, they have a little bit of comfort at least, and you could walk into a game without being overly stressed and holding your stick tight and panicking after everything. And then that could have happened tonight, if the Habs were in a little bit of a worse situation in the standings, and with that game the way it started tonight, they could have panicked. But part of it is that they have a little bit of wiggle room, not a lot, but just a little bit of comfort level to relax, stay the course, and they did. It wasn't a great win in the sense that you don't want to go in every night taking 40 shots and taking less than 20 and getting 40 shot at you. But listen, everything evens out at the end. Habs started the season with a lot of trouble behind the net. Goaltending cost them a ton of games earlier in the season. Well, now tonight, goaltending got them a win, and once in a while, that is A-okay. It happens to the best of teams, and no problem with that at all, my friend. No problem whatsoever.
Here's to the rookies.
Yes, sir.
First 10 minutes, it looked like the Rangers Ottawa last night. They had absolutely no life whatsoever. Yep. And that goal by Cappy got him going. After that, second period, one of the best second periods of the year. Zone possession time was very high. The Canadiens, the Gallagher, Anderson, Deneau line had the puck in the Carolina zone from the 10-minute, the last 50 minutes of the game, probably 80% of the time, which is good. It reminds you a bit of the Gallagher, Deneau, Tatar line back in the day. They led the friggin' NHL in zone offensive zone possession that one year. Two out of the three on that line, and then you throw in a heavy forechecker like Anderson. Veteran guys. It's nice to see. Right now, they're playing like one of the best fourth lines in the league, and it's nice to have the first line's outplaying the other team's first line just about every night now. They're one of the best in the league, probably going to score 100+ goals. When another line clearly outplays other teams' line that they're up against, it's always good to have at least two lines that dominate. Yeah. And Canadiens, the last 50 minutes of the game were the better team. even if the shots were, and part of it was, kind of protecting the lead and Carolina coming on. Dobie, 41 41 saves, 43 shots against, 953 save percentage tonight or something like that. 3 straight games where he's let in 2 goals, which is, I think, the first time this year. Also, 5 of his last 6, he's had a save percentage of 923 or higher, and he hadn't done anything close to that all year. It was inconsistent up until now.
Yeah.
In his last 6 games, 931 save percentage for Dobie. So again, he hasn't had a stretch like that all year, even close. I guess he must be up over 895 now. He was 893 going into the game. That's above the league average, by a few points now. So it's not just the wins, it's the save percentage. He's above average now as well. And he's won, 0.714 win percentage. So, 71% of his games he's winning this year, 23, 8, and 4. The Canadiens are going to have three players in the top 10 in the Calder race this year, I think, without a doubt, in Dobes, Kapi, and Demidov. Man, oh man, Demidov, he was dangling tonight. I'm so glad that he finally got that one earlier where he just about, and then in the first period when he did that dangle, he had 3 dangles tonight that just reminded you of just how friggin' talented he is. He hadn't been doing that a lot lately, really, but tonight his hands were magic. He could have stick handled in a phone booth, no problem. So, great game from. Nice to see Kapi get off the schneid too. I've been saying it, and I said it earlier in the year. He's really good at tipping pucks and scored a lot of goals in Europe, tipping pucks in front of the net. Tonight, finally, one of them went in, and it was such an important. It turned the tide around because the Canadiens up till then had no life. The crowd had no life. It picked up the crowd. It picked up the Canadiens. Beautiful tip. And Struble, super game again tonight. Yeah. Anyways, I've talked far too long. Rick, you're the guest. You comment on some of the things I said and some of your own thoughts. And I'm going to go blow my nose.
Right. I mean, I have a lot of the same thoughts you did about Demidov. Even defensively, that the confidence was getting up there, and he was being a lot more aggressive, almost defensively, putting pressure on the point man. He had a big block, I think, in the second period there. That was a really important one, and on his goal, putting pressure on the point man, I think led a little bit to that cough up. So defensively, I thought he was a lot more decisive too. Besides obviously the offensive stuff, which was absolutely electrifying, and it got the energy of the crowd going. The crowd feeds off that. The players feed off the crowd after, and that's part of the that was part of the magic, if you will, tonight. Struble was really, really good. He really played well one-on-one and kept the guys on the outside. And they're a fast team. It's not easy to do that against Carolina, Grant. They could move. And one-on-one, Struble played a tight gap, pushed him to the side without, taking himself out of position. And when the puck was on the stick, nothing fancy. He just got the puck out of the zone, managed it very well. What a performance by him. Got to give a little bit of respect there to the Evans, Bolduc, and Texier line that, they can't score. It seems like they can't score no matter what. But, they were getting opportunities. They were combative. They were getting the puck in deep. They were getting an opponent's face. And Evans scored on the bobblehead night. That was nice. But I did like Bolduc and Texier's game tonight. No problems with the way they played. Again, besides the scoring, but they were at least attacking the puck carriers and making things hard a little bit. They were playing a little bit like Carolina plays. Overall, it's hard to pinpoint anybody having a bad game. Carolina was really good, and it's just some players from the Habs were spectacular tonight when they needed to be.
Yeah. Mark, thank you for the toonie. Cola's 44. We have a dominant number one goalie. Well, a good one, that's for sure. And, I don't know if I call him the dominator just yet. He reminds you a little bit of Hasek, the way his unorthodox style and being to check and all that stuff. But definitely good. 44 goals for Cole. 9 Habs in history have scored more. And he's one away from 45. Thought he had 45, but then I'm looking at the replay and wait a sec, that went off Slav, I think. And of course Slav is, he doesn't take credit for the goal. Like he just, hey, sure, whoever, like we want Cole to get to 50 here, like, hey, if they want to give it to Cole, it's just another one of the reasons why they picked Slav. He's unselfish. He's a character through and through, all about team. Doesn't matter if he gets friggin', credit for the goal or not. He wasn't going to take it. He was willing to let Cole take the credit for it. Slav, in his first 27 games, it took him 27 games to get 16 points to start the year. In his last 10, he has 16 points. So it's safe to say that he looks like a friggin' point per game guy now, and he's still hasn't turned 22 years of age. 6'3", 225-pound force out there. He hasn't been real physical, I'd say, the last 30, 40 games. But you know what? If he's gonna score 100 points a year, I don't really care. I don't really care if he's going in there and drilling people or not. Like, I'd rather, if it's one or the other, give me the 100 points.
Yeah. Also hard to be physical when it seems like your line has the puck 85% of the time too.
Well, this is it.
It's I will say, I love the fact that Slav is trying to get Cole his goals, and that's great. But in the third period, when he went through like 4 guys by himself, I'm like, Slav, take the shot. You've earned this one, but an extra. It's okay. It's just great, and it's nice to see. But I was like, just take that shot, Slav. On this little occasion, there it was too beautiful what you did right now.
Oh, that was a beautiful rush, Slav there.
Yeah,
and he got in, but hey, it hits the defenseman or it's a gimme goal for Cole. So it was a great play by Slav. I didn't think. Everybody thought he was shooting, so including the goalie, and the goalie was down and out and it just happened to deflect off the defenseman. The goalie may have saved Slav's shot anyway, but he wasn't saving that if it went over to Cole. So I don't completely blame him for that one, and also because, hey, they are trying to get Cole as 50 here, so I kind of get it. But yeah,
of course, yes.
When it deflects off the guy, and then you go, oh, well, why didn't he shoot? But then, if he'd have shot and saved it, then, oh, well, Cole was wide open, But yeah, that seemed like the better play. When you shoot, you're not losing the puck. You're getting a shot on net. And when you pass it, more bad things can happen than good things when you pass it. Mark saying, please hit like and subscribe. Absolutely. We got a good crowd out here, 12 minutes in, 100. Listen, if you're watching on X, migrate over to YouTube, join in the live chat, hit the like button, all that good stuff. Let's go to the out of town scoreboard here, Rick.
Yes, sir.
Well, it's not quite as good. Tampa was up. Let's just. Tampa was losing all game, but now it's tied 3-3.
No.
St. Louis is up 1-0 on Washington. Nashville 6-2 over San Jose. Jersey up 4-3 on Dallas. Winnipeg up 3-1 on Vegas, who, since they traded White Cloud, are winning at about a 35% clip. Kings up 1-0 on Calgary. Edmonton won. Utah won. lot of games tonight, folks, after the silly schedule in Cork where there was one last night. Toronto 4, Boston 2. Hey, go Leafs, go. Been a weird week. Rick, the other night I was cheering for Boston, and tonight I was cheering for Toronto. But hey.
Those words caught me off guard there, Grant.
Yes. Leafs win 4-2 on Boston. Montreal 5-2 win. Oh, open net Evans. I'm glad I gave him that nickname, because what happened with the open net tonight? He scored.
Yeah, he's great.
Open net Evans scores on the empty net, so he's living up to his nickname.
Yeah.
Ottawa with call up the 2 rookies. First games in the NHL, Yakimchuk and Sean Donovan's young lad, Jorian. And what's Yakimchuk do? Does Yakimchuk things, goal and an assist, baby. And his and you could see, I loved it showed the family, right, shows up for it. You always love that when the shot of the family, especially in your first game when you score.
Yeah.
But then a goal and an assist, rookie defenseman called up in an emergency kind of situation. Happy for Yakimchuk getting a goal and assist. Might be hard to send him back down, man, if he keeps doing that. But huge win for Ottawa. I think they're in a playoff spot right now then with that.
Wow.
So
I thought they were cooked. I really thought they were cooked with all their defense being injured like that.
I know.
Their top 4 or 3 of their top 4. It's just insane.
And I know. And now Sanderson's going to be back next week.
Oh, that's good.
Florida beat Seattle 5-4. Chicago hangs on to beat the Islanders 4-3. Thank you, Chicago. Columbus edges Philly 3-2. And Colorado beat Pittsburgh 6-2. So all in all, a positive night for the Montreal Canadiens. And I'll go to the live standings here and see what it says, but I think it's good news. Live standings. And we'll just update it here. So Carolina's still on top with 96, Buffalo 95. They each have 11 games left. Tampa, well, we'll see. If they lose, the Habs are only 3 back of Tampa. So if they win, or if Tampa comes back and wins, Montreal's 5 back. But they're still, it's still possible that they could get second in the division. It looks like Buffalo. No one's gonna catch Buffalo here. Montreal 4th. They seem to have been in 4th just about the last month. About 90% of the time. 4th in the division or in the conference. Columbus 87. All the teams after Montreal have played one more game here that are in right now. They've all played 71. Boston's 2 back of Montreal, playing 71 with 11 left. Montreal is 12. Pittsburgh tied with Boston, 71 games, 86 points. And now Ottawa has a game in hand on the Islanders, and they're tied in points at 85. So Ottawa gets the 4 straight wins for the Sens without, Jensen out for the year. Sanderson's been out. Shabbat Thompson hurt the other night. Their other Gilbert got hurt. So that's crazy amount of injuries. Travis Green does deserve a fair bit of credit on how well he's got that team playing defensively. If they'd have got good goaltending all year, their defensive structure is really good. And look out for Ottawa if they make the playoffs, given that it looks like Ullmark has turned his game around. And if he's above average to above average in nets in the playoffs, and they make it, that first round matchup for Carolina or Buffalo, it won't be easy playing the Sens. So maybe Gary's right. Maybe the playoff format's just perfect, and that first round match will be sensational.
Yeah, the Ottawa Senators. I mean, on paper, that's a heck of a team, man. I mean, they should be better than they have. That center line is just so good. Stutzler, Cousins, Pinto. That's a good 1-2-3 there. That's really talented. They got some, they got some talent at the wings, and if everybody's injured, they got a pretty good top four. And the goaltending, as you said, was the biggest issue for most of the year. So, and as you said too, right? They've sacrificed some firepower this year to learn to play better defense, knowing that at the end of the year and when the games are tight and when the playoff comes, you got to have that defensive structure. And I think you're spot on about that. If they make the playoffs and everybody's back, and I know Jensen won't be back, but if Shabbat and we're hearing that Sanderson will be back soon, I would worry. I agree. I would worry very much about taking on Ottawa. It's a scary proposition.
Yeah, well, defense wins at playoff time typically,
Yeah.
and they play a pretty. Green has them playing a really, really tight defensive structure, so they could be tough. Mind you, if Jaka Dobes plays like he has the last 6 games in the playoffs,
Wow, eh?
you know who else is going to be tough? You won't want to meet in the first round, especially if they get home ice advantage. That's why I think it's important that they finish. Try to catch Tampa here. I hope they can. Do they have a game left with Tampa or not? I think
I
maybe.
don't remember.
I think they have one, maybe. Our good our research, our crack research team that's in live chat will I'm sure inform us. Francois
Merci.
with the toonie. I don't know what you call the toonie pound there, but I got a toonie pound from Charles. Off in Scotland. Great result off the bed. So catch podcast later. Okay. We won't talk too much about you behind your back, Charles. You go get your beauty sleep, buddy. Donnie McCaskill, $5. Thank you very much, sir. Nice turnaround for the boys, a resilient group that always have a chance. Yeah. Hey, I'd rather be down 2-0 10 minutes into the game than 50 minutes into the game, right? Like, even though it looked kind of hopeless, Carolina's a friggin' good team. And they looked like they were just going to dominate the Canadiens, but just needed a spark, needed something to happen there. Strub's getting the shot in on net. Nice tip by Kapanen. That got him going, and they just, from there on, and the Canadiens, you wonder sometimes, like, how can they be so bad for 10 minutes and then so good, after that? But as long as it's not 60 minutes of bad, the Canadiens pretty much have a chance of winning any game with that firepower that they have.
Yeah. I think, again, knowing that they're going to have some goaltending that's going to support them helps a lot. You're not as worried about it because, man, when soft shots go in, then you really hold the stick tight and you start worrying about getting shots on nets. And they could relax that part of their game and know that if they could let a few shots here and there and that's going to be taken care of, helps the transition game too very quickly. And boy, one thing about Dobes, he's a very emotional goaltender. Whether he's up or down, he's really emotional. And when things are going well, he's got incredible swagger. And at one point, towards the end of the game, I thought he's going to try to score. When there was an empty net, I was thinking he's going to try to score tonight. And even when he went to pick up the puck at the end of the back of the net, often during the game, to stick handle or then just to try to get a pass to the defense, but it's like he's playing chicken with the opponent. He's standing there. Come on, guys, come after me. Come on, I dare you. I don't think Marty is too likes that too much, but he's okay with it, I think. But there's a lot of swagger right now with Dobie, and again, his teammates, I think, feed off that quite a bit.
I think Monty probably sees the writing on the wall there now. They had him in practice the other day. Did you see him? They had him out as a screen. and I suggested that it was just maybe get him, used to be coming out of his net, But Matheson.
I had another. Sorry, God. I had another comment. I just said I thought it was important that Monty work a lot on shots from the point, but this is not what I meant.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. Matheson.
Yeah,
I think a few practices he should go to practice a few times and play the entire practice without a stick, because I swear to God, half this year he's played without a stick during games.
Yeah.
No, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but has there been another player in the league that's either had his stick broke or lost a stick more often than Matheson this year? It just, I don't know if you remember Freddie Bolitnikov or not. I mean, he did play for the Alouettes his last year. He was an Oakland Raiders receiver in the 70s, Rick, and he was pretty famous for Stickum. And it was a gooey substance that he put all over his shoulder or his jersey and on his hands. And they outlawed it, banned it, but it would help him catch the ball because it would just like stick into his hands, right? And it was this stuff called Stickum, and he was famous for it. And Oakland Raiders receiver back in the John Madden heyday, and he actually finished his career in 1980 with the Montreal Alouettes. So, but I'm sure some of our listeners and viewers would know who I'm talking about. But I think Matheson should consult Freddie Bolitnikov and ask him if he can get some of that Stickum for his gloves, so that he can hold on to the frickin' hockey stick.
Yeah, I mean, between that and broken sticks, he doesn't really have any luck with his sticks this year.
No.
I don't know what's going on with that. Is it something the way he's holding on to the stick? Is he being a little bit, playing with the tip of his stick a little bit? I don't see it in the way he plays. I think it's just bad luck, and I think maybe I wonder, maybe I'm wrong about this, but part of it might be the skating, right? Where he gets, because of his jump, he gets like a little half a step over the opponent, and they often slash his stick to slow him down, maybe. And the refs don't always call it, so that might be one of the reasons. And I listened to an interview on French radio here in Montreal, and they were talking to a stick manufacturer about like what's going on with the sticks this year, and he said, the players are exaggerating with the flex a little bit. There's only so much a stick can flex before it starts breaking to everything. And he says this year a lot of the players really push the limits of what a stick could handle, and that might be one of the things that's happening with the batch that Matheson got, is that it's just a little bit too much flex to try to get that power, and it keeps breaking in his hands. But you can't have that, because it happens a lot at the wrong time, right? In the defensive zone, or when he's taking a shot on net at the blue line, and when, like, let's not forget that when a defenseman takes a shot on net usually, and the stick breaks, it breaks at their blue line, and then the team is fragile on the turnaround, and that's when they get caught off position. So you really got to get that taken care of going forward, because it could cost them a huge game at the wrong time.
Yeah, that's a good point, Rick. The one thing that the Habs have been fortunate about this year, for the first time in a long time, is they've been like their top players have been healthy, right?
Yeah.
I just was thinking about that. I'm looking at it here. Out of their top 7 scorers, Rick, one man game missed.
Wow.
And that was Caufield, missed one game.
Wow.
But 6 of the 7 have played every game. Suzuki, Hutson, Slafkovsky, Demidov, Dobes, and Kapanen have all played every game this year. And I think, that's a turnaround from previous years where the Canadiens set records, I think, over a 2-year span, leading the league in man games lost.
Yes.
And hey, you can use it as an excuse, but it's a viable excuse, like you're missing top players for huge chunks of time. it's going to affect the club. And even Matheson's only missed 3 games, and Bolduc. So really, out of their top 9 scorers this year, they've missed a total of 5 games. So that's actually no. Counting tonight, right? So that's all 70 for all those guys except Cole, that's played 69. So, but
Wow.
Slaf is on pace for 33 goals now. 44 divided by 69 is 0.637. 637 times 81. Cole, 51.5 goals, so 52 if you round it up. The last Habs player to score at least to score 52 goals exactly was Lafleur, and it was in the 70s. So 78, 79, the last had to score more than 51 goals. So if he does hit 52, it'd be pretty cool. I really hope he gets 50, and I think you know, they're going to I think they'll make a point, especially if they can somehow have it wrapped up before the last 3 games of the year, like have a spot clinched. I think it may be impossible, actually, but if they do, even the last weekend, really, you know, and he still needs a goal or two. He's not going to be sitting out. They'll play him and try to feed him the puck there and get him his 50 goals. I just hope he hits it. I just hope he hits it in the next 5 games, and then you don't have to worry about it. But the way Cole can score, you just never know. He's 2 behind. At one point, they were saying, "Oh, he's tied," and then they gave the goal to Slav. He's tied with McKinnon for the most, and then they said, "Oh no, the goal's given to Slav, and McKinnon has scored a goal, so he's still at least 2 back." I don't know how many McKinnon got tonight. I know he had at least 1. I can check that just out of curiosity to see how many goals for McKinnon. But let's see. Okay, you got his 46th, and that's it. So he's 2 up. It'd be nice. I mean, the freaking thing is named after a Montreal Canadiens great, and a Montreal Canadien has never won the damn thing. So it's high time. It's high time it happened. I mean, even a Toronto Maple Leaf has won it, for Christ's sake.
What a tragedy. I want to point out, I think, a little bit of what I said last week, last show, Grant. Cole's defensive game has come a long way. He's not a defensive specialist, but he's not a lost cause defensively. He gets involved, and on tonight's goal, he wins that puck battle in the corner to go get it, to keep the play alive, to get possession. And then he kind of wins another puck battle a second time where he kind of gets in the way of a clearing attempt, and the puck stays in a little longer. And then he scores. Like, he doesn't float around trying to get goals standing around. He makes stuff happen every time he's on the ice. He distributes the puck well, creating breakdowns, and then he takes advantage of those breakdowns when the puck gets back to him. So full credit to Cole Caufield, who's becoming a scorer with different aspects to his game. That's impressive.
Well, Wild were up 3-1 in the second period, but bad news. 2 goals at 17, 4 straight by the Lightning, and they scored at 17-minute mark. Chernak made it 4-3 in the third period. 18:41 Hagel, empty net power play. Tampa's going to win again, 5-3 over Minnesota. So looked good there for a while, but Minnesota couldn't hang on. they're going to be losing to Tampa tonight. So Kucherov has been crazy red hot.
Incredible.
Just nuts how many points he's been getting, eh?
Yeah, no, he's been phenomenal, and without having a center for big chunks of the year, and I think Sorelli too missed some games, so he's been doing a lot of it on his own, which is incredibly impressive. And although we're not battling them for a playoff spot, I don't think Minnesota's all they're cracked up to be. They might be a little bit disappointed come playoff time. I don't think this team is as good as they think they are, or as Bill Guerin thinks they are. They're definitely not a team to me that's built for the playoffs. I'll say that.
Well, their defense isn't very big, and I'm not crazy about their center
Exactly.
down the middle. So
Yep.
usually those are two pretty important pieces, right?
Yep.
I mean, they've got Middleton, is a big boy, but the rest of them, I mean, Bogosian, he can barely keep up anymore.
Yeah, he's 37, I think.
The rest of them there, I don't know. And Hughes playing 28 minutes a night. I don't know. Burning them out. We'll see. We'll see if he can do it in a tight check, and he hasn't proven it yet at playoff time that he can do it. But Skoy George, Grantster, we did it.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Grantster. You're missing the T there. It's Grantster to you, Skoy. Yeah. There's a little topic. The Athletics MVP rankings. Nathan McKinnon, Kucherov, McDavid, Hutson, Seider. What do you think of that? What do you think of that?
I love me some Lane, but I still think the MVP for the Montreal Canadiens is still their captain, Nick Suzuki.
I agree.
It doesn't mean that Lane is not a fantastic player, and we're lucky to have him, and he's a pivotal part for the Montreal Canadiens. But I still think Nick Suzuki is the guy for the team because of his defensive play and the fact is that he is captain. He's a team leader. He stirs the drink. He plays good defense. He plays good offense. He does it all. Maybe also because Lane has been making mistakes a lot for the last 4 or 5 games. There's no other way to see it. So I love Lane, obviously, and I know it's just a temporary thing, but to me, the Habs MVP is still Nick Suzuki.
Yeah. Well, I would have Celebrini in there over Hutson and Seider for sure.
He's in the top.
He's in the top 4 for me without a doubt. Lane, the reason why I wouldn't have Lane in the top 5 is just the Canadiens have too many. Like Caufield's going to score 50 goals. He could arguably be the team's MVP. Suzuki's going to have 100 points, two-way play, all-purpose everything. I agree. Probably the club's MVP, clutch points. He could be the team MVP. And Lane, and Slaf's not far behind. So, you can argue that he's even his own club's MVP, let alone the NHL MVP, right? So for me, the amount of points he's got, it's pretty wild, this and that, but he's the 4th best scoring defenseman. Like I'd have Werenski ahead of him too, actually, in the MVP voting,
Of course.
Because Columbus doesn't have a Suzuki this year. They don't have they're not going to have a 50-goal scorer up front, Werenski for me would be the defenseman if you're going to have one in there, over Seider and Hutson and Celebrini. It would be Werenski, Celebrini, McDavid, Kucherov, and McKinnon for me would be my.
That's a very good. And if you're thinking for team MVP, and maybe he's not a top 5, but I think you could think about it with maybe Charlie McAvoy. In Boston, look at the record when he doesn't play for them. They really struggle when he's not in the lineup. It's a huge difference. So if you're looking at team MVP, that might be a way of looking at it. Yes, it's been difficult for him because he keeps getting injured in the facial area, which is just ridiculous this year. But
He
you know,
missed too many games, I think. But yeah. No, I know what you're saying. I
Yeah.
don't think he can get a guy that's missed a chunk
You're
of
right.
games for MVP. But yeah, oh no, I mean, as far as value to his team, but Boston may not even make the playoffs too. It'd be tough to pick him as league MVP. But yeah, he's underrated. Certainly, if you wanted to go with most underrated player in the league, I would certainly argue that he's in the mix. Absolutely.
Yeah, but Werenski's a great call. I mean, he plays for a very unsexy team in Columbus that maybe falls under the radar a little bit, but he's everything to them. He really is. He's phenomenal. Game after game after game, year after year after year. He's. I mean, I know he missed some time with injury last year, but he's a really phenomenal defenseman. One that really is underappreciated in the league, unless you are from Columbus.
Yeah. Kenny, no, if you divide it, like he's missed a game, right? So you divide 44 by you divide 44 by 69, and then multiply that goals per game by 81, because he'd be missing one game, comes to 51.59. So if you round it up, 52 goals, my friend. Yeah. Make sure when you correct me that you're correct. Yeah. All right. We're in a good mood tonight. Ricky,
Yes,
it's only 10:30. It's not too bad. What do you got? 10 minutes?
maybe another 5, Grant. Huge day tomorrow.
5,
Wednesday
eh?
is 5 is good for me, my friend.
I should have brought it up 5 minutes from now. I screwed up. I should have waited 5 minutes, because you always say 5. I got 5 minutes. So
But then we might have doing 10 anyway. So.
Well, that's right. Now you're catching on. But I wanted 15. Anyway, okay.
All right.
You're too smart for me, Rick. I can't outfox you anymore, buddy.
Boy, no.
Carolina high-octane energy play style without the puck makes me wonder if KK is that bad or just not a good fit for that team and could be okay on a more standard team. I think he needs a change of scenery, obviously. This year is just he's become the odd man out, and he can still play in this league. He's just he's caught in a numbers game on a team and fallen out of favor with the coach. You go somewhere else and get an opportunity, and I'm sure do okay. With the salary cap going up, it's soon going to be, well, by next year, it'll be, the league average will be higher than his salary. So he's not going to be killing you that way, especially if a team say, well, Frank, he can play third line center for us. And I think there's teams that he could do that for. If you're making the league average at third line center, it's not a albatross of a contract. So, and I guess it's getting close to the end too, right? He's probably only got a couple of years left on his deal. So,
yeah. He ends in 2029.
What's that?
I think he ends in 2029.
Oh, okay. So 3 years left? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's another 3 years. I think I thought about that earlier today, and I thought, boy, a team like Calgary could really, he could do well with a team like Calgary, because they're rebuilding. They could give him a lot of minutes, and with the hope that he gets it together, and with the idea that if he gets it together, they got a good player. But also, if he gets it together, you might have because they're trying to accumulate assets. So if he plays much better, you could flip him a little later, and it's worthwhile for them. And I think that's a good situation for him, where he's not expected to do much. The team is not expected to do much. I think that would be an interesting proposition if I'm Calgary, but we'll see.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I love how Cole won't even go on the ice without a goalie. He don't want those goals. He doesn't want the empty netters. No, McKinnon has all kinds of them. So,
yeah,
they should almost give it to they should subtract empty net goals, and then for the Maurice Richard. Oh well, can't have it all. All right, let's have a look. You had your glasses on. Let's get it. Let's have a look.
Yes, sir. Yep.
All right. Who led the look at that ice time, eh? Finally. A night where they it was pretty evenly spread, wasn't it?
Really?
21-44 is the big is the most by a defenseman. Lane was at 18-54. You know, he hasn't been great lately, so turn him back a bit, right?
Yeah.
Struble playing 14 minutes. Hey, he should be playing 14 minutes. I'm sorry. Like, he's last 5 or 6 games steady as a rock. He's +2 again tonight. Couple more hits, block shot. I've really liked Struble's game, and I'm glad he's not playing like 10, 11 minutes like he usually does. 14's good. Carrier 19-18 had more time than Hutson. I wouldn't necessarily agree with, but the end of the game again, it's funny. I mean, it's whatever. I mean, I'm I like the young lads, obviously, but 4 minutes with the empty net, and they don't. Cappy's one of your 4 forwards that you use on the penalty kill. He's been good at empty net all year, like when he's out there. A lot better than Evans' empty net. And they played Anderson, Evans, Suzuki, Deneau, Slav, who can't score on a friggin' empty net if his life depended on, had another chance at it, in the O-zone and couldn't score. But, one of their main penalty killers, and they don't even trust. Marty has decided that the last 5 minutes of games, Demidov and Kapanen don't see the ice. It's become a pattern the last 5 games until you put them out for the last 30 seconds after the empty net goal. But that doesn't really count, right? But if it's tight, the last 5 minutes, they don't see the ice. So he wants to go. I guess he thinks, only a veteran can score in an empty net or whatever. But I just found it funny that one of his main penalty killers isn't being trusted at the end of the game all of a sudden lately. I haven't seen Cappy's defensive game get any worse, but Evans and Deneau get double, triple shifted at the end of the game, and Cappy sits on the bench. But it's a minor thing, but I just find it funny that, Suzuki, Slafkovsky, guys that don't even play on the PK get out with the empty net lately, and Cappy now. It seems like he's decided that the rookies don't play in a tight game at the end. They're stapled to the bench. They were stapled the last 7 minutes of the tie game against Boston, the last 7 of the next game, and the last 5 tonight. But anyway, just an observation that I found a little odd.
To me, Grant, the thing is that when the few times he did use Kapanen, he did really well. It's not like, sometimes you say to yourself, I'm going to give this young player a chance, even though he's struggling, because I see the potential of him getting better. And that's one thing. But when he has been used, he did well. So you got reason to think that he's really good at it and he could be helpful. And let's face it, I know you're thinking short term, but boy, Deneau and Evans are not going to be around that much longer. And if age becomes, reaches his full potential as a center in the NHL, there's a good chance that he'll be playing more on the second line. If that happens, well, Cappy will probably be taking much more of the defensive responsibilities. So he's done well, and he's going to be doing it for a long time. It's like, to me, there's almost like a double reason to use a bit more of Cappy. But again, coaches, You know, coaches
Yeah,
coach and coaches always go with the veterans. It
they
seems like
do.
it's everywhere like that.
Yeah, no, that they do, and it's yeah, exactly. But I agree. Like um, like it'd be good experience for him. Get him out there.
Mhm.
Instead of like Evans and Deneau, like they're three of the last 5 shifts or something. Like they get tired.
Yeah, yeah.
So I just um, and I mean Evans and Deneau, Evans especially has been on for I don't know how many empty net goals against
I
this year.
know.
It's
I
about
know.
10, but they just keep friggin' putting him out. And then what
And
happens? Well, he scores in an empty net. So,
yeah,
all is great. So he'll be out again.
yeah.
He'll be out for 5 of the 6 shifts on the empty nets the
Yeah.
rest of the year.
Or
That's the way it
Canada
is.
could have even taken over for Anderson, who's coming back from an injury. Maybe they could have,
Oh, I
spared
know.
him tonight for a few minutes.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like him to get the most goals by a rookie too, Give him he scored he got the goal that got them going tonight. Give him a friggin' cookie, Put him out
Yeah.
there. He's good, and he's really good at icing the puck and doing it. Like he's got an empty net goal this year. All that stuff, like it. I want Demidov to get the most points by rookie. I want Cappy to get the most goals. Demi to get the most points. Cole to get the most goals in the league. Like come on, guys.
Do it.
Love having you here, Rick. Always appreciate your time, sir.
Thank you, Mark, very much.
That's from Mark. Drinking again, Mark, or what? Oh no, you're not a drinker. He likes his ganja, so he's probably dipped into his stash.
Okay.
To be saying something like that, Rick. Offense is the best defense when it comes to the Habs.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree 110%. Our defensive zone positioning was abysmal. Great win, but my goodness, Dobes bailed everyone out again. Yeah, what did you think of the would you say it was abysmal? I know there was a lot of shots on net, and it's easy to say if you just look at the shots on net, but I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of the shots were from pretty far, and you got to look at your opponent. Carolina is a good team. They take a lot of shots most games, so
yeah,
you got to keep that in mind. And the dangerous shots came in the first 10 minutes mostly, and at the very end when they had a 6th man on the ice and they were taking all the offense and nothing else. But between those 2 times, the Habs were giving up a lot of shots, but not too close to the crease area, in my opinion.
Yeah. Scorpion, I disagree with a lot of your comments. And here's another one. Lane belongs in there. Well, he's 4th in defense scoring on a team that arguably has 3 others you could say is their own team MVP. He's not great defensively. He's only the 4th best defenseman in scoring. Like what puts him even ahead of Makar and Werenski in your mind, Scorpion? He's not ready. Like one of the top 5 most valuable players in the league. He doesn't kill penalties. He's not out in the ice. He wasn't out in the ice at the end of the game, shutting down the other teams. I like his offense, but top 5 MVP in the league. I can't agree with you, Scorpion. I'm sorry. I could be wrong, but I think the athletic candidates are based on a statistical model they have created. Well, even if it is, I still don't know how their stats would have Lane as one of the top 5. And that's no slight to Lane. That's quite a 4th best, most valuable player in the league. 2nd year in the league. Slow down. It's not there yet, but maybe someday he'll be a Hart Trophy finalist. That would be cool. I'm certainly not putting it past him. I think you'll certainly see him be a finalist for the Norris down the road. at some point.
I think Hutson will do better once Reinbacher's in the NHL because he'll be back on his left side. I think on the right side,
Yes.
it's a struggle, and it's very obvious a struggle.
Yeah. Nashville's in a playoff spot now.
Whoa.
Don't look now, but every team that thought, yeah, well, you know, you could have had Stamkos earlier in the year. Imagine Stamkos playing with Slav and playing with Demidov and Kapanen. That would have been nice, eh?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
well. Caufield has been on a goal per game pace for 20 games. He
Yep.
might as well score another 12 goals. He might. Yeah, he might. Much better showing by the Habs while playing 6-on-5 during the last few minutes of the game. That's right. And I think maybe even the PK was a little better too. They, I'll give Evans some credit since my rant the other night. He has played a little better again. And,
Yes.
And good for him. Kenny says, Goalie and Struble must have been listening to the podcast. They've stepped it up. There you go. Yes.
Good call.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I've been defending both of them. They both got a lot of grief. Struble mostly because of the Jack Eye fan club, but Goalie, I never thought he played horrible. Like people were throwing him under the bus, and yeah, he was falling around a little bit, and he had a couple of games where he struggled, but since he came back from injury, I haven't minded his game, and the last 2 or 3, he's been very, very good. Both those guys, solid.
Grant, I think Budzuk needs a little rant though next episode. All right, prepare a little something for Budzuk, a little 2-minute rant, and just to give him a bit of help.
Oh gosh, no, you're right though, Rick. Like Bulduk wasn't bad tonight. He's been like on the forecheck. He made a couple nice passes. Could have had an assist or two. Almost scored a goal again. Jeez, he was right there for the tap in, eh? But yeah, that's right. Come on, Bulduk, get your friggin' shit together, buddy. There. Now he'll score 2 next game. Rick,
yeah.
I forgot that you had to go. Okay, buddy. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for hanging out.
And
how many minutes has it been since you said 5?
14.
Okay. See, I pulled it off. Okay, my friend.
Thank you, Grant, and thank you to all the listeners again. You guys are always awesome. Have a great night, everyone.
Okay, I didn't do that on purpose, by the way.
No, I know.
We're just having so much fun talking here.
Of course.
It's tough to let
Absolutely.
you go, buddy.
Thank you very much, man. Have a good
Mark's
night.
going to really miss you. Okay. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Rick.
Thank you very much.
Rick Springhetti, folks, the one and only. Here's a good point by Robbie K. Grant, it seems to me that the Habs have a special relationship with the Blues in regards to trades going back to Ron Caron. Yeah. Doug Wickenheiser for Perry Turnbull. And oh, God, through the years. Chuck Lefley, you can go back before Ron Caron. The big Chuck Lefley trade and was that one for Don Orey? Chuck Lefley for Don Orey? Yeah, through the years, quite a few deals between those two teams. It's true. And now, of late, it's been deals again. Yeah. Did they trade for Ron Flockhart? I don't know. I remember that Perry Turnbull for Wickenheiser trades. Ooh. What are you doing that for? Giving up on your first overall pick? Kapanen and Evans' line were dominated in Oh, yeah. Thanks, Francois. Yeah, they were dominated. They scored 2 goals. Just dominant, but all it counts is the expected goals and the Corsi. I throw those things out the window sometimes. Dominated. Yeah, okay. Kapanen, 21 goals, not bad for a rookie. You look at a player like Veleno who plays with a lot of hustle, but he only has 2 goals. Yeah, Uh-huh. I agree, Richard. Did you notice what Demi was creating? Or the goal Cappy scored? Yeah. Well, I mean, protecting the lead. How about all season instead of the stats for one game? Oh, well, they scored a goal, 2 goals. That's irrelevant. All that matters is the Corsi and Fenwick for this game? Really? How about Evans being on the ice for 10 empty net goals against this year? What's more important? He gets triple shifted because what's more important is that Cappy and Demi, who scored 2 goals tonight and they're +1 on the night, don't have a good Fenwick? Come on, Francois. I've said it before that you overthink sometimes, but I mean, that it just goes to show you're intelligent, son of a gun. But overthink sometimes, my friend. If we don't make the playoffs, what moves do you think should be made? And you're a bit of a contrarian too, so I guess we'll always we'll have some good little tete-a-tetes here. Hey, buddy? We don't need to talk about that stuff now. We don't make the playoffs. Oh, yeah. Okay. What moves do you think should be made? All right. We'll just disagree with that one. Bolduc should bounce back in the playoffs. Oh, and Francois again. Oh, you're wrong, Grant, because one time the new VDoc. Is it VDoc? Do you have like 2 accounts, buddy? It was over earlier. Yeah, exactly. God bless Jakob Dobish. Absolutely. Murray Barron, Shane Corson. Oh, yeah. No, you can go on and on. The mighty Murray Barron. The great Red Baron. Yeah. Oh, Turgeon. Roger that, Ken. I believe we make a round 2 run this playoff. Depends. I mean, if we're playing Tampa in the first round, Tampa's got home ice. Vasilevsky's hot. Woo. It'll be tough. It'll be tough, let me tell you. Thanks, Rick. Thanks, Rick. Thank you, Rick. Glad he could come on. Absolutely. I don't know where Blaine is there. As long as he's not in the Strait of Hormuz, it's all good. I'm gonna have to any chance Hage gets on the Evans line? Good Evans. I'd rather him on the Kapanen line and bring back Newhook would work for me. And Newhook was on the ice. So how do you explain that with the Fenwick and the Newhook was out penalty or with the empty net for 2 shifts, Francois. So how do you his Fenwick and his were horrible apparently. He didn't score a friggin' goal. So out of the 3 guys on the line, why would it be, if they're Fenwick and was so important tonight, Francois, why was Newhook out for 2 shifts in the last? Because veterans. Loves the veterans. Better stat for you compared to Corsi and Fenwick. Slat is averaging 3 points a game ever since rocking the buzz cut. Yeah, but his friggin' POD a couple nights ago wasn't very good, Andy. So, Tampa are quite streaky this year. We might get lucky and face them when they start a losing streak. Yeah. Don't like the odds, but yeah. Yeah. Well, Struble can play on the right. And I did tweet that out, Is it just a coincidence that Struble, the only time he's got to play 5-6 straight games this year, he looks really good? It's hard to take him out of lineup now, right? And I'll give credit to the Jack Eyes there, the Jack Eye fan club. they haven't been moaning too much the last 3 or 4 games, because they can, admit that that Arbor has been quite good. That Strubal's been quite good. Sorry, in the past few games. So kind of hard to make the strong argument if he's playing well. And even Carrier, like none of the defensemen, even though they had 43 shots tonight, again, I didn't think any of them really, Matheson a couple times again tonight, but all the usual suspects to get railed on, they were pretty decent tonight. Let's get back to the stats for a bit here. Evans 47% on the faceoffs. Deneau 53. 55% for Nick. Newhook 60%. 1 3 out of 5. They ended up 50% on the night. Cappy 0 for 4. Nobody was a minus. The plus minus. Only 3 minor penalties. That was a good thing, keeping them friggin' minor penalties down. I like that. As far as shots go tonight, leading the way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players with 2 shots on net. Cappy, he almost had the second on that. He did 2 shots on the one friggin' shift there, and nice saves by Anderson, or he had 2 goals tonight. But 19 shots on goal wasn't great stat. 8 hits for Goalie tonight. He was physical. He had a battle with Seth Jarvis all night. The two of them were battling heavy and hard. Actually, tonight it was nice. 2 Western League boys, right, going back at it. It was kind of cool to see. But quick check here again of the scoreboard. There's only 3 left here now. Jets ended up beating Vegas rather handily 4-1. Vegas is really St. Louis won 3-0 over Washington. They've kind of bounced back a bit of late. Mayu picked up another point tonight. Just curious to see what his stat line was tonight. +2. He's had quite a turnaround as the season's gone along, hasn't he? Again, just needed some experience, folks. 20 minutes, 51 seconds, +2, picked up an assist. He's coming along, folks. Hopefully the trade works out okay for both teams. But Washington, last game sealed it for them, right? They had to win. And Philly tonight, that even though it was pretty much a done deal, they do have 2 or 3 games left with Detroit, though, and they, perhaps they could have got back in the race, but them losing tonight, that pretty much seals it for them there. They are 5 back of Ottawa with a game in hand. It's going to be tough for them. Detroit, they're sitting 10th now. Wasn't that long ago they were 3rd or 4th. So hasn't been a great run for them of late. They got to get back on the rails here. Let's see here. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4, and 2 in their last 9. So good. They are the team that, if you look at it, you think, I don't know. By the way, I'm going to have Chris Stevenson on tomorrow. Ottawa Senators. We'll talk a bit Senators, bit Habs. Montreal native. Chris is a great interview. So I'm going to have him on tomorrow. And I'll also feature Konyushkov as per the request there. I looked at 3 of his games and put together a video. So tomorrow's show, Chris Stevenson, and a profile of Bogdan Konyushkov. So I think I'll be doing it at 1:00 tomorrow, or perhaps tomorrow night. I don't know. I'll play it by ear. I don't like to commit because things always pop up. Getting my summer tires on in the morning. But just curious here. Detroit's -4 in the goal differential. Islanders are +3. So neither of those teams, are they're the two that should be 9th, 10th, because all the other teams have a decent plus differential of at least double digits plus, right? Ottawa's even +23. So really they deserve to be in a playoff spot right now. Montreal's +19 on the goal differential. Boston +15. Columbus +14. Pittsburgh +18. So the bottom 5 teams that deserve to be in the playoffs are in the playoffs right now. Tampa, they're +62, which is pretty impressive. Which leads the East. So again, I don't know that I want to play Tampa in the first round. That's a tough one, but we'll see. I mean, the Canadiens could very easily finish 4th here, or even one of the wild cards. Well, I guess if they're 4th, yeah. Anyway, it's going to come down to the wire, folks. Lots of fun. But yeah, Nashville is now 8th, 77 points. In the East, that would be 13th spot. But they're 2 up on the Kings. Jets aren't out of it yet. They're 72, so they're 5 back. Seattle's lost. Seattle and LA are just handed it to the Preds, who have won 5 in a row. Nashville's only a point behind Vegas. Holy frig. That's crazy. Edmonton, if they win tonight, they're in 6th. Nobody wants it. They got the top 3 teams, and then that's it. But even Minnesota, like 92 points, they're by no means a juggernaut this year. And I agree with Rick. I'd be surprised if they come out of the West. I just don't think that they're built. Wade Wilson. Did you ever throw to Biletnikoff, Wade? Oh, no. You were the quarterback for the Raiders a little later than that, right? That was Jimmy Plunkett and not Roger Staubach, Kenny Stabler, who would have been the QBs for Freddie. Leafs time is over. Habs time in now. Absolutely. You got it. 100%. Ottawa won despite 5 regular defensemen injured. Yep. Yakimchuk. Rookie came in, first game. I mentioned it at the start there. Ole, ole. Habs always have and always will be Canada's team. I agree 100%. Deadpool. Deadpool? Habs are getting points at the most critical time of the year. Lose a few games, you sit outside of the playoffs in the East. Yes. And I will heads roll in Detroit if they miss the playoffs once again. Maybe. I think, but it's Steve Yzerman. It's kind of hard. If they're right there, it might be hard. Might be hard to fire him. Well, folks, I got one more beer. Do I crack it and stay on for a while longer? The young lad isn't around. How many? We got 91 here. I don't know. I'd like it to be over 100. I'm going to be convinced to stay around. You're watching on X. Hightail it over here, guys. Or I'm packing it in. Oh, up to 95. Let's get up to 100 here. HabsCast on YouTube. Hit the like button. Come on in. Join the live chat. Should I crack this beer or not? Crack it and they will come. That was a good movie, eh? Field of Beer? Was that the name of it? Crack it and they will come. Oh, what the hell. I want someone to send me a toonie to pay for this now. That's my caveat. Still the thrill. Did you ever talk to your buddy there, buddy? You said you'd get in touch with him. Am I going to have to make the phone call? You don't want to do it or what? Never heard back from you. I guess that's not good news. Still looking for sponsors here, boys. And speaking of which, we still have 2 matches versus Tampa. If we win both and do well in other matches, we might finish second. Might. Notice I have Next Level Hockey in both corners there, folks. Next Level Hockey. Specialists in hockey development trusted by NHL prospects. Whether you're looking to elevate your shooting, skating, stick handling, or overall game, NLH is here to take your game to the next level. Visit them at nextlevelhockey.com and follow their Instagram at nextlevelhockey_. As you can see here, for daily tips, posts, and updates, if you or someone you know have young aspiring hockey players who want to elevate their game, trust Next Level Hockey to guide them forward. Next Level Hockey. It's in the game and in the name. By the way, see that at Next Level Hockey _? Do me a favor, folks. He's Mike's a great guy. He is going to give away a $500 gift certificate. That's no small thing, folks. So $500 worth of on-ice training or merchandise. $500 if he hits 6,000 subscribers on his Instagram. Mentioned it the other night. Only a few trickled in. I'd like you to, I know it's a couple of more clicks, just like hitting subscribe here, or hitting like. But if you can go at Next Level Hockey _ their Instagram, hit the subscribe button, and it would be great for me. It would be great for Mike. We'd all be happy. So let's celebrate a big win by helping out Mike. And who knows, you might win that gift certificate because it's going to go to a subscriber. And if you ain't subscribed, you ain't winning it. Okay? All right. 97. Three more. You trickle over from X there. Can we get the trickle down? That would be good. I like being over 100. I like it to be over 100 likes. Mark might want to fill me in on how many we have so far. I'm guessing it's probably around 60. Usually is about now, 50 or 60. And got to get that over 100. But if you're watching on X, go to my YouTube channel, HabsCast. Join in the fun here on the live chat. Oh, up to 102. Good. Couple of you are listening. Thank you. I know I'm demanding. 86. Oh, that's not too bad. After a win. Oh, Kevin, there was 1,000 people that called me dumb. Worse names than dumb. And hey, it takes a good man to come and apologize for that. I was wrong, and this guy might be a 100-point player by next year. He's the best from that draft now. Hey, it takes a man to admit when he's wrong and to apologize, and that's I really appreciate you doing that, Kevin. Cheers. I had a lot of people at the draft that day that came up to me, and after, in the building, I didn't go in until Slav got drafted, because if they'd have picked right, I'd have been crucified. So I stayed in La Cage with Tony and Yellow and Sammy, and watched the proceedings till the third or fourth pick. I said, okay, I guess I'll go in now. And people recognized me, and oh yeah, sorry man, you were right. Then McLean's Pub, walking there, and people recognizing me, and yeah, I thought you were an idiot. And I'll say this though, once Slav got drafted, people were on board. They supported him. He was their guy. There weren't that many people, oh, terrible pick, They figured, well, their new management, right, trusted them for the most part. Yeah, there were some saying, oh, it's a mistake, this and that, but most people were on board after the pick. It was before it happened. There were still a lot of people that didn't believe, that Slav would go first overall. No matter how many videos I put up, or how many scouts I said that were agreed with me, and the turning point for a lot of people finally, and I kept saying it, in the weeks leading up to Bob McKenzie's final list. I just, because every scout that I knew didn't have right. They had dropped right out of first, and Bob's list, when he'd done the poll at mid or whatever, still had right being number one. But I had a feeling that his final list, I thought it would be like 8-2 Slav, but he said it was 5-5 among the scouts that he polled. I know that the group that I deal with, there's probably about 7 that I talked about, and only one thought that Wright would still go, he had Wright number 1 on his list, but we debate. I said, well, are you sure? Because he was horrible in the playoffs and everything. Said, well, we aren't getting him, and I just got him. I just kept him at number 1 anyway, and he was an Ontario base scouts. So, so I don't know that even really counted as a strike against Slav being number one, but yeah. Pretty incredible shift by Slav protecting the puck in the neutral zone with 3 players on his back while being on the ice for nearly 2 minutes. Yeah, I know. And there's little things like that too. Francois, I'm not too, I don't really, I don't keep track of that really, I don't find it to be that important. Slav brings a lot of different things, including his friggin' character, man. Goche, wanting to get traded from one team to the other, little bit of a prima donna American attitude there, So I don't, we're up to 120 watching. They came up. Thank you, folks. And he's bigger, like a bigger, stronger kid than Goche. Give me Goche. No, I'm kidding. Give me Slav. And I don't care if their point totals are the same this year or not. I missed the game tonight. I was driving all day. Was Donnie as spectacular as it appears by how was Anderson? Did he seem hurt? Okay. Anderson was fine tonight. Dobie was first star, deserving so. He was very good tonight. Yeah. The modern day Halak. Yeah, he's a lot bigger than Halak. Did some great things with but Price would be the clear number one. You can never predict. Like, thought Primo would be the starting goalie. If you'd asked me 5 years ago, well, Primo, he'll be the starting goalie by now when Price is done. Dobes could be the starter. You don't know. Fowler might be the starter. Dobes is bigger. He's every bit as competitive. Not as good technically, but very athletic. Who knows? Like, you can predict all you want, make predictions on who's going to be the starting goalie. And like, you can go through a pile of teams and you'd say, well, like, rewind 5 years for just about every team, and the guy that you would predicted would be the starting goalie for that team today, I would say at least 80% of them you'd be wrong on. Like, frig, you can go back. Well, remember Georgiev? Like, figured, his first year in Colorado, well, he'd be the starter this year, right? He's not even in the league anymore, Wedgwood and Blackwood are their starters. John Gibson, I think, well, he'll be the starter in Anaheim. 5 years ago, you said, well, he'll be the starter at Anaheim. He's starter in Detroit now. And on and on and on. Like, would you have predicted 5 years ago that Jerry and Ingram would be the starting goalies in Edmonton? Like, you go team by team by team, and Gustafson was in Ottawa 5 years ago. So, well, he'll be the starter in Minnesota 5 years. No. It's a carousel with goaltenders. How about Washington 5 years ago? Well, Logan Thompson and Charlie Lindgren, who was in the Habs organization 5 years ago and didn't look anything like an NHL goalie. We'd have thought like Primo would be the starter, right? Out of the league altogether. Charlie Lindgren, he won't be in the NHL. Well, pretty solid backup goalie in Washington now. Brandon Bussey, would you have 5 years ago, Freddie Anderson, the best goalie in the league, Don Cherry would say when he was with the Leafs. Would you predict it in 5 years' time? Him and Brandon Bussey would be 1A, 1B in in Carolina, or Jakob Markstrom would be the starting goalie in New Jersey. 5 years ago, Thatcher, the goalie of the future. Anyway, there are very, very few. Vasilevsky is one of the few that you could have said 5 years ago, well, he'll be the starter, and he still is. I guess probably Shesterkin 5 years ago, but Georgiev was there too, right? And it was one of the other, but then Varlamov looked like the guy. Anyway, you go through them all, and there might be five that 5 years ago you said, all right, that you'd predicted right, that they would be the starting goalies for that team. Askarov, you think, well, he'd be the starter now, and by now in Nashville. Well, he's in San Jose, and anyway, I'm not going to emphatically say, 5 years from now, without question, Jacob Fowler will be the starting goalie in Montreal. It may not be Fowler or Dobes, given what I was just saying. It may not be either of them in 5 years for the Habs, but it could be Fowler. He's supposed to be the guy, but Dobes is 3 inches taller. He's arguably more athletic, every bit as competitive, if not more competitive. Yeah, he's a lot, his technique, not fantastic, but it has improved. I'm not ruling out that 5 years from now, 4 years from now, Dobes is the starting goalie for the Habs. We'll see. At the, a few months ago, still saying, well, probably Fowler, but again, we're talking goaltending, and it's the most unpredictable position by far in the league. The Rantanen Jagr comparison seemed crazy at the time, but this guy at 25 will be a beast. Yeah. No, I threw Jagr out there, and Rocco, who was scouting a bit with me at the time for recruits, Rocco Zappia, when he looked at some video of just how dominant he was in the Liga playoffs. People didn't watch him; they just saw stats and thought, oh well, you only had so many points in the playoff. But if you watch the friggin' games, and if you know that Liga playoffs, especially, it's low scoring. Here's a 17-year-old kid that's just dominating physically, holding people off with the puck, hitting pucks away with his one hand, just beast in Liga at 17. Couldn't get the puck from him a lot of the time. I thought, well, how's this going to translate at 24 in the NHL? It could be impossible to get the puck from him, just like it was with Jagr. He's the closest to Jagr in that regard that I've seen since Jagr. Like the prospect that, as far as just for his size, his hands and puck protection, skills are, the closest I've seen, with a couple of, you could Ranton's close, but Slav is right there with those guys in that kind of, in that stratosphere. Will he score as many points as Jagger did? No, but he's not playing with Mario Lemieux and Ron Francis either, and it's different era. That was a high scoring era, so when you adjust that in, if Slav was playing with Lemieux and Ron Francis 20 years ago, 120 point scorer, wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility. So, yeah, pretty incredible shit. I Slav. It was. Sorry guys, a couple of repeats there. Grant, do you have an all-time favorite Habs game? Yeah. That one was something else, yeah. Probably the 7-5 win over Boston, the Big Bad Bruins in 71. Habs were down 5-2 late, 5-1 at one point, and they scored the last 6 goals. Beliveau got it going. Dryden stoned Esposito a couple times on the way, and they pulled it off and ended up winning the series. That turned it around for them. Biggest upset, one of the biggest upsets ever in Stanley Cup playoffs. And it's the first series that I really remember. I don't know that that's ever been topped. I did not see that. I did not see that game live. It was New Year's Eve, the Canada or the Montreal Red Army game. I did not see the vast majority of that game live. Saw it lots of times after. So, yeah, I don't know that it's my favorite, but it's certainly up there. It was exciting. And that game, the Lafleur stepping rather gingerly over the blue line. That Bruins game where it looked like the streak was coming to an end, and he scored that goal, and then Yvon Lambert on a feed from Mario. That one's pretty tough to top too. So those are my 3 favorites, I guess. I would think would be the Lafleur tying goal game, the Montreal beating Boston 7-5 when they were down 5-1, 5-2. I think going into the third it was 5-2, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe not. But in 71, when the Bruins had set 35 records, Liam was saying the other day, they set 35 scoring records that year. They were just, points records, scoring records, all of it. I think they had the top 4 or 5 scorers in the league that year. And it just, they'd won the cup the year before. Nobody was supposed to beat them. Espo had 76 goals. It was nuts. Anyway, that will always be hard to top for me. I hear Seneca's trying to be an actor as a fallback plan to play in hockey. Yeah, well, he did it on Oscar night, right? How many points for the Habs to get in the playoffs? Oh, I don't know. 100. They're going to hit 100, and they're going to make the playoffs. I think the 8th place team will probably get something like 97, 98. I think even though they're on pace, if you look at win percentage, these teams play each other so often down the stretch that a couple of them won't their win percentage will lower a bit. And I think just from mathematical standpoint, that the 8th place team will more than likely 98, 97, maybe 99. Possibility it's 100, but I think just as you saw tonight, like, right? Few of them lost it. They can't all win, especially if they're playing against each other. When they're playing Western teams and beating up on them this year, yeah, everyone was winning, but now they're playing each other. They can't both win, right? Grant, what caused the downfall of Sheldon? He had a crazy rookie season with Habs and dropped off the face of the earth. Happens. Other players came up and were better. He didn't play a top 6 role. I think they saw in the playoffs there. I don't know that he was especially good, if I recall correctly, that playoff year. And then, other players came in and were better suited for top 6 roles, and the rest was history, right? He had a heck of a good rookie year, no doubt about it, but happened to be on a cup winner. But he played 16 games in the playoffs that year after almost a point per game in the regular season. And once the heavy hitting and the tight checking came in, he kind of disappeared, right? And I think, coach said, okay, well, we've got better options than him, right? Like Claude Lemieux. I mean, right then and there, he wasn't going to play ahead of Claude Lemieux in the lineup after that playoff, right? Claude came in and stole his job, it's fair to say, in the 86 playoffs, right? So, and then the following year, he didn't get a top 6 role because Richer came on. Richer and, the young guns, Lemieux, played ahead of him. I mean, he wasn't going to play ahead of Naslund, Smith, Lemieux, Walter, Carbo, Richer, McPhee, Momesso, Skrudlin, Corson. I mean, there's your friggin' top 9 right there. And then you had Gainey and Nyland as well. So hard for him to even have a spot in the lineup, right? The kids came in and could see in the playoffs, okay, well, they're better. Claude Lemieux's better than Sheldon. And, he found it hard to get a regular spot. But it all stemmed from that playoff. They won the cup, and he was a secondary piece in it because in that era, there were a lot of Swedes that come playoff time necessarily show up. The Canadian boys came to the front. Mats Naslund was obviously an exception, but he was an exceptional player, right? They Like the next year in the playoffs, he had 22 points in 17 games. Not too bad. But I think that's the best I can explain it. Edmonton could have had Wallstead. Yeah. Oh, I don't have time to be watching all of his games, but I did see some of his first game, and I congratulated. I noticed Rob and his parents were in the stands and high-fiving each other and pretty happy, and I congratulated Rob on his young lad scoring the empty net goal in his first NHL game. Yeah, he looks good. He's another Hutson, right? Chip off the old block. He's going to be a good NHL player. Good hands, quick. I like hey guys, I appreciate the push on the subscriptions. Thank you very much. I couldn't thank you enough for helping promote that for me. Thank you. And hit the subscribe button. My subscriptions have really slowed down. I've got 4,600, but it's going to be a while before I hit 5,000, I think. Things are kind of slowed down. Let's see. I want to see how many have watched the podcast so far tonight. 1,853 have tuned in. Ooh, that's good numbers. Wait a sec, that's the wrong video. I didn't think it was that high. $837. Yeah. All right. Not too bad, I guess. We've got competition out there. Excuse me. I'm just going to check the 99. Well, here, I'm going to hit the like button. Like it myself. There. I'm the 100th. I'm the 100th like. You can thank me for hitting the 100 like. The 100 likes. Perfect. Good. We hit the 100. I always like to hit 100. I like to get 2,000 views. We're at 800 and some. So again, 599 that are tuning in on X. I know it's not that many, but however many, hop on over to live chat for a bit. I still got 2/3 of a beer here, so need your input. Most guys that played with Lemieux had bumps in stats. Yeah, well, Yager's one of the greatest players ever, so yeah. But I'm just saying, like his 140-point seasons and stuff, which Slaf will never get, helped that he had Mario by his side quite a bit. Palak, Game 6 against the Caps. Yeah, well, he must be a young guy if that's the greatest game he ever. It was a good one, though. Most guys that played with Lemieux had bump. Oh, sorry. Is it just me, or has Suzuki found another gear when skating on the ice? Spinning higher top speeds ever since. Well, yeah. I found him like when he's skating on the pavement, pretty much the same speed. But when he's skating on the ice, Andy, yes, he's hitting higher hey, I think it helped that going to the Olympics and playing at that pace absolutely didn't hurt his, didn't hurt his game. $102 to be safe without tiebreakers. You'll be surprised. I don't think, again, everybody playing each other, they can't all get 2 points every night. I think you'll see it'll slow down. Who's OHL? Habs have a tough week, Columbus, and then Nashville, Carolina back to back. I don't think that's a tough week. Just beat Carolina. They can beat them again. Sandin Pellikka, one of the only Impact D-men, was sent down to the AHL. Yeah. I was never a huge Pelican fan. Got some offensive ability, but defense, undersized. I don't know. I wouldn't go by the draft year. Wasn't a great defensive group. Pelican minus 21. That doesn't surprise me. I'm not sure he can defend at the NHL level, to be honest with you. We'll see, but in his draft year, I thought he was overrated. I know Craig Button was over the top with him, but when you're 5'10 and a half, 5'11, not very good defensively, it's not easy. Unless Dobes steals another, yeah, we'll see. We're probably better off falling to a wild card and possibly playing Carolina. You never know. Like, I find when I would rather play this team. It's unpredictable. Did Columbus want to play Boston in the first round or Tampa, the year Tampa had set records, and then they beat them 4 straight. So be careful with what you wish. I just make the friggin' playoffs. It's going to be tough no matter if it's Buffalo, if it's Carolina, if it's hey, Carolina's 1 point up on Buffalo. So when you say wild card, it had to be the last wild card if Carolina finishes first, but Buffalo could finish first too. So if you're in the wild card spot, it's just as much a chance that you're playing Buffalo in the first round. So do you want to play Buffalo instead of Tampa? I don't know. Right now, Buffalo's kind of had Montreal's number. Montreal over the last couple of years, the record against Tampa is actually pretty good. I think they were 4-0 against them last year, were they not? So I know Liam thinks they don't have a hope in hell of beating Tampa, but I don't know. Do I know what happened to Terry Ryan? Well, why don't you tune in, Wade, when Liam has him on? He's going to have him on sometime over the next week and a half. Yeah. So mull it over, but see if you can make that. You might get that reference, mull it over. Yeah. Well, what happened to him was he suffered a back injury, and he never he couldn't get over it. So, but he wasn't the fastest skater. I think he had 50 goals, 100 points, and 200 penalty minutes in his junior year, and those are fantastic stats. It was tough to pass on him, even though the little that I had seen of players that year, I really hoped that they'd take Iginla, because I had seen him. He was with Kamloops and they won the Memorial Cup and he was fantastic. And it just shocked me when he went as late as he did. Ryan Smith went ahead of him to Edmonton. Terry Ryan went ahead of him. And was it Jason Bonsignor? Edmonton had 2 picks, 2 cracks at Iginla, and they didn't take him, was it? But I was shocked when Iginla dropped as far as he did, because he was just an absolute beast in that in the Memorial Cup. Terrific. Yeah, he went 11th. Steve Kelly, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm thinking of mixing up 2 drafts. Winnipeg took Doan. Tampa took Damon Langkow. LA, Aki Berg. Montreal took Ryan at 8. Kyle McLaren to Boston. Radek Dvorak to Florida. Crazy. Iginla didn't get picked till 11th. You just wonder if it had anything to do with the color of his skin, because it just seemed crazy that he wasn't a top 10 pick. I mean, just dominated in his draft year, dominated the friggin' Memorial Cup. And he had he had 29 points in 16 games, a goal a game in the playoffs that year too. Just absolutely dominated. But yeah, he wasn't. He didn't have great skating, and that hurt him at the NHL level. And then he hurt his back, Ryan, and he just. So that was the end of him. So the Habs have had a few guys like that. Remember Matthew Carroll hurt his back, and that was it. You got a bad back, just ask Caden Lindstrom. Not a good thing. Why is Elite Prospects not showing? They got him as a franchise owner, not as a player. Come on. There we go. Elite Prospects is a lot better for just want to look at the Memorial Cup that year. Yeah, 4 goals, 2 assists. Dominant. Kapanen, the next Koivu. No, little different player. Not quite as dynamic, fast playmaker like Koivu. Winnipeg could really use a player like Ehlers. Hey, they got no second line. I wonder why, right? Okay, Robbie K. Thank you, dude. Bon nuit, mon ami. Same to you. Grant, what possessed the Stars to trade Bobby Smith? He was a first overall pick. Yeah, Bobby, I think, expressed a bit of disenchantment at the time. It was kind of a mutual. They'd had a couple of, after they came damn close in his 3rd year or something like that. And they never quite got back to that. He had a couple of years where the stats were down a little bit, and the relationship grew a little sour there. and it was almost kind of like a mutual agreement thing. But I mean, you know, Minnesota didn't like they got a nice return. You know, it wasn't like Mark Napier was a bum or something like that. Like Smith had a point per game, and then he started the point per game, and he'd been better than that before. And they lost in the second round, first round, second round, his third and fourth year. And Minnesota decided they wanted to shake it up fairly early on. But Keith Acton and Mark Napier, pretty good players. You know, Napier had two 40-goal years with the Habs back to back. So, you know, it wasn't like he was a bum. And Keith Acton was a hell of a good middle line center. So they got a 40-goal scoring winger and a middle line center for him. They had Broughton, and they figured Broughton would be the number one center, I guess. Broughton and Maruk. And Brandon Acton as their third line center. Pretty good third line center. And Napier, they hoped that he could be a 40-goal guy for them, and he never, for whatever reason, never quite got rolling with Minnesota, and they ended up trading him to Edmonton. But he had been a back-to-back 40-goal scorer with the Habs the 2 years previous to the trade. He was 27, so in his prime. And sometimes guys just, you don't know. Like, remember Luc Robitaille, great in LA, traded him to New York, and he sucked. Came back to LA, great again. So good night, Grant. And folks, almost 1 a.m. here. Okay, man. I hope you're still on the mend. Little less. I hope you're not purple from head to toe anymore, drum dude. 90.5 playoff odds. 90%. Good. I knew it was at 88 on one that I saw. 104 likes. Thanks, Ken. We hit the 100 mark. Yay. Edmondson needed AHL time. Yeah, but Edmondson's 6'6". Skate like the wind. Pelicans. Yeah. Could you see Reinbacher becoming a similar demon? Yeah. Thomas Harley, Sider. The sky's the limit for Reinbacher. He's going to be a hell of a D-man. I'd rather be as high in the standings as possible. That's already a step up from last year. Ready to roll a dice with whoever the Habs play. Exactly, Ken. Yeah. Passed on to Ginla. Florida, the worst, though, getting Dvorak instead of Ginla. Josh Brook, too, hurt his back, yeah. Blew out his knee. Joel Bouchard playing him on the friggin' wing. I don't want to get into that. Jagger, yes. I got a lot of heat for comparing him a bit to Jagger, but Jagger himself compared him to, so that made me feel better. I'd like to propose the following. Every playoff game the Habs win, you have one beer after each round. After each round they win, you increase that by another beer each win. Oh my goodness. I start slurring after a beer and a half. I could just imagine. I'll sponsor your beer case, so no worries there. Yeah, well, I want people to watch. I'm a big Arbor fan, but I don't know he's part of the future. With Reinbacher and Engstrom coming, and with Struble playing so well, I might add. I think in Philly, as a third pair with some rough and tumble, might be a good fit for the Sheriff. Maybe. I don't know that Engstrom's going to beat out Struble anytime soon. The way Struble's playing, too. When I was a kid, Grant, the biggest rat guy I hated was Kenny. As soon as you said rat, well, that was his nickname, for Christ's sake. Yeah. Linsman started with the Flyers. He was picked 6th overall by the Flyers, I believe it was. Yeah. Kenny the Rat Lindstrom kicked. I was an Ottawa 67s fan, and he kicked Jeff Gagger right between the eyes, right here. Front page of the Ottawa Citizen the next day, or Ottawa Journal. It's probably the Journal. I think we used to get the Journal. Gagger's face, and it was just all blood. Linsman kicked him right between the eyes. Ottawa ended up winning the series because Linsman got booted out of the rest of the playoffs. It was nuts. I interviewed Larry Robinson's brother Mo, who played on that Kingston team, and it's going to be in my book that I hope to have out by next Christmas. I interview both Larry Robinson and Mo Robinson, who Mo played one game for the Montreal Canadiens, got drafted by them. Larry thinks that he got jobbed, that he should have got a good look. There's so many stories like that, you know. He quit at 24. The Habs weren't giving him a look, and he said, "The hell with it." You know, back in those days, AHL money wasn't very good. No, I'm gonna go find a career, and quit hockey at 24. But Larry professes that Mo would have and should have been a regular on the Habs. Would have been cool to see the Robinson brothers playing together. Mo was like 6'4" and could fight too. Like, you know, had some puck moving skills, decent skater, could handle himself really well. It's too bad. Sometimes you don't get the looks. When I was a kid, Grant, the biggest rat, yeah. Funny how we spend so much time talking about acquiring Stamkos. Nashville might make the playoffs. Wonder if they're regretting trading McCarron. They might be. In the modern era, what is the youngest average age to win Stanley Cup? Francois, if you will remember, though, you know, we spent so much time talking about acquiring those guys. Which guy did I talk about that I wanted them to acquire the most? It was McCarron, right? In the modern era, what is the youngest average age to win the Stanley Cup? 28.2. I looked it up the other day. Like modern being like the last 20 years or whatever. Still over 28 years of age. So well, I guess Mike was watching. He says, "Thank you for the shout out." No problem, Mike. Man, did I hate Linsman too. Thanks, Grant, once again for the Smith explanation. Stars did get a good return. Trade helped both teams. Yeah, but Bobby got them a cup. And he wouldn't pass the friggin' puck, is Larry. Nobody ragged the puck as much as Bobby Smith. Grant, next preseason would be crazy if the Habs moved Arbor to wing. All right, let's not. We almost had an Arbor free live chat, eh? Almost. I guess I should have kept it to just under 2 hours. I don't know. No, don't move him to the wing. They need to sign a contract with Arbor. True, he's an RFA as well as Doc. The ghost of Kotkaniemi had a great game tonight. Dun, 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 dun. Good signing there, dun, dun. Thought you get back at the Habs, eh? How'd that work out for you? Yeah, I don't know. Like, no. Arbor's a defenseman. Don't ruin him moving him up to the wing. I don't know if Florian's ready next year. There's no spot. Like, they aren't getting rid of Anderson and Galley. It won't be Florian's time yet. I don't believe. Struhl hasn't been too bad lately. Oh, he's been actually excellent. You realize that even long after Arbor is traded, you'll still hear about him. Yeah, Arbor. I like how people spelling it Arbor. Yeah. Can't wait to see the trade tree. The trade tree with Arbor. You get it, guys? See? Do you really want me to have like 8 beer on the live chat there? It'd be pretty silly by that time, Mark. This is after 2. I think Beck is ahead of Florian in terms of readiness. Absolutely, Ken. And also, guess what? Next year, he's you can't send him to the minors, I don't think, right? Am I correct about that? He will no longer be waiver eligible next year. And I think Florian probably has another year. Is that correct? Let me just bring up Puckpedia. Oh, he's got 2 more years? Two seasons. Really, eh? Oh, okay. According to this, 2 seasons or 132 NHL games played before he's... All right. Well, that's good. So he doesn't have to make the team out of camp. Good. That's good to know, because I don't know for sure. But as far as I'm concerned, Beck's ahead of him, and he should be. The guy's friggin' older. Well, drafted before. He, 2 straight Memorial Cups, friggin' World Juniors, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. I think he eventually takes over for Jake here. I think they moved to know with a pick this summer to make space for Beck next October. Ooh, one can only hope. Amend the rule allowing you to share those beers with guests. I like Arbor, in fear he will be losing for nothing, hence why I rather convert him. Yeah, well... I don't think they'll be losing for anything. Nothing. No. He'll be the 7th defenseman. He's a team guy. I love him in the locker room. Players love him. Doesn't bitch, complain. Perfect 7th guy. He wasn't a high draft pick. He wasn't drafted at all. Don't have to pay him a big salary. You need a tough, there's an injury, he can play. You can plug him in. No problem. You got a tough game. You want some beef in there, a tough guy. You can plug him in. He's a defenseman, and I don't agree with trying to make him into a winger. You need 7 defensemen, and that's what he is. He'll be one of the 7 defensemen, I imagine. And Engstrom just isn't the fit for me. Arbor brings some elements that the club needs, so you keep him. You trade Engstrom. That would be my guess, is what they'll do. And Engstrom probably might even, might have a little more value too. But there's no rush on Engstrom here either. He's not waiver eligible, I don't think. So I think Beck could take over for Evans, trade Jake. Yeah. I don't know, Silvio, but don't worry about it. There's Carrier to move to. Who knows? But so they'll get it all sorted out. I'm certainly not spending laying awake at night nearly as much as you folks are, worrying about what Arbor, the future lies for Arbor and Strubes, and que sera, sera. I don't think you're doing any by having Beck as the 14th forward. No. Who is my favorite player this evening? Yeah, I should start having that segment, eh? I gotta find a sponsor though. The plumber, like, anyone know any plumbers in Montreal that would those friggin' guys make a fortune, man. Pass one on. If you know a plumber, give me a name. I want to get a plumber sponsor. The plumber of the game. And tonight's plumber of the game was Oliver Kapanen. Scored the goal that got things rolling. Went to the front of the net, tipped it in. That got the team up and going. Plumber of the game, Oliver Kapanen. Who does Cappy remind me of? He reminds me of a plumber. Can't think of his name. Bobby Stopgap. Arbor is being groomed. Patience is in order. Sheriff is on duty. Yes, Arbor. Please, more Jack Eye, please. 90% of the last 50 have been Arbor. Keep it up, guys. And I'll be shutting her down instantly, I can guarantee you. Mario and Luigi, 2 brothers. I like Engstrom. Yada, yada, yada. All right, guys. It's been fun. I got to go. I'll be starting up my Arbor Jack Guy YouTube channel next week, and I'll just let it. I'll put up, like, I don't know, a dummy right in front of here, and you guys can just all talk about Arbor in the live chat, and it'll just be a dummy in front of the mic. I'll dress it up with a Arbor mustache, put it in front of the mic, the Arbor Network, and you guys can talk Jack Eye till the cows come home. Does that sound like a plan? All right, folks, I got to yeah. Okay, I got to go. I'm going to pee my pants here, and that's probably not a good idea. So 2:18 in. I think I did my shift. Did we hit $10 in donations tonight? You know, for 2 hours, things have really slowed down here. Ever since Jermaine went AWOL, man, not making much on the donations, eh? You guys are getting friggin' tight. Thanks, Mark, for your. You're always good, and Francois, and of course Donnie, Charles with the £4. Oh well, we hit. I guess I made $10 in donations. That's the days of 100 are long gone, eh? Oh well, it was fun. It was fun while it lasted. Kenny, I don't see any $2 donation from you. It was the usual suspects: Mark, Francois, Charles, and Donnie. And the last donation I got was at 10:11, and it is now 12:11. So not a single donation the last 2 hours. And I had to put up with all that friggin' Arbor talk. Oh, no, I'm sorry. There's $2 from Kenny. I don't know why it comes up blue, and that was at 11:09. Okay. So only an hour of with no donations with Arbor talk. Jeez, hey, I earn it. I certainly earn it. That's for sure. Okay, my friends. How do you donate? Oh. How do you donate? Come on, man. Little $sign button, apparently, in the live chat. Mark always talks about that. It's somewhere in the live chat. I don't know. I've never donated to myself, so I can't explain it. But beside the live chat, apparently there's like a $sign, and you click that. And the money sign. Yeah. It's complicated. I know. Yeah. Even the freaking the guy that sends me pounds sees the $sign and knows, can figure it out. The Scotsman, Charles. All right. Right beside the chat line. When I click money sign, it says something about super stickers. Yeah, well, keep on clicking. Kenny, super stickers. Kenny sent me a $2 super sticker. You can send a $5 super sticker. You can send a $2. If you're not a member, I think you gotta go through super stickers. Have a great night, Grant. Please don't have an accident on our account. Yes. Oh, somebody, Zach, you can find another Arbor in about 20 senior leagues. I wouldn't sweat it. Well, anyway, I'm not sure Arbor deserves that, but I get your point, Zach. And thanks for backing me up in a kind of a funny way. All right, guys. Time to go, if you know what I mean. Have a good night. I appreciate that. And yeah, sure, e-transfer, whatever. Don't worry about it too much, Silvio. Okay. Have a good night. 1 o'clock tomorrow, I think I'm going to be doing a podcast. Kanyushkov and Chris Stevenson will be joining me. Kanyushkov won't be joining me, but I'll be doing a video report on him. Okay, I got to go. Thanks. Have a good